We are getting ready to take a look over at Rob and the victory map.
Yes, and here it is, and I've got Charlie and Tony with me to comment on this. You just predicted it, what, 10 minutes ago, but North Carolina has gone Donald Trump. He's up to 217 now, Charlie.
A couple more predictions here, Rob. He will also carry Georgia. He'll carry Arizona. He'll carry Utah, which really means that going forward, Hillary Clinton almost has to run the table. She's got to pull this Rust Belt configuration that she would have to take. She would have to take Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota. Trump may yet carry Iowa. I think he will. New England may prove to be what it boils down to as well. Maine will be carried by Hillary Clinton, but because of the unusual way they select their electors there, Donald Trump may pull an electoral vote out of Maine.
He could, because they separate
the
them up there.
Second congressional district.
Tony, you see a road to victory here?
It's very tight. I'm not going to give up at this point yet. I'm willing to stay up till midnight or thereafter to get a chance for a victory. But the signs are very bad overall in the sense that in the in-state races in Pennsylvania, the statewide races for the rural offices, you can see where Donald Trump had coattails that have pulled down the numbers for the incumbent Auditor General compared to when his predecessor ran 8 years ago as an incumbent. The margins just aren't going to be as great. I'm not saying that the Democrats won't win for the statewide offices, but it'll be very tight.
So, Charlie, did you really expect it to be at this point in time?
I said on Sunday in my column that there was a path for Donald Trump. It was very narrow.
It's very narrow.
It's proving to be a little bit wider than I thought because of this Rust Belt configuration. We said he needed to deal to an inside straight. It looks like he still might. I say the pressure is really on Hillary Clinton now. She's got to carry all of those states or it's over.
She pulled out all the stops in Pennsylvania, as we know.
Oh, yeah.
Just right up to the last minute.
With Bon Jovi.
Star-studded event. Bon Jovi. But you have the president and the first lady and everything.
Them too.
But Donald Trump went to Michigan.
As did Hillary, and forced her to defend that.
The
Trump people, Rob, clearly saw something in Michigan that had been missed by the national prognosticators and pundits, and they took advantage of it. They went there very late, but they went there in earnest. They clearly had tapped into something that may prove to be pivotal tonight.
There's a lot of talk, Tony, that the Republicans had gotten their ground game together this time around after the last 2 election cycles not doing so well. Don't get upset with me, Charlie, but from what I've read, do you feel like maybe that's been a factor here?
No, I don't think the ground game was a factor. I think what was a factor was identifying this well of anger and frustration in a certain part of the electorate, mainly white, mainly working class, and how strong that it was that they motivated themselves to go to the polls. They would have voted for Elmer Fudd if he were at the top of the ticket.
And that was evidence right around here where people stood in line 3 hours after the polls closed. Lara, some interesting things going on here on our victory map as we continue on getting the results. And as they come in, we're going to turn to you gentlemen for more analysis. Right now, a quick break on CBS 21 News Special Election 2016 coverage. Back in a moment after this. All right, we are here at the victory map along with my political insiders. A couple new states have been brought up. Right here, Hillary Clinton has taken Oregon, and Utah has been won by Donald Trump. So that's basically a wash, gentlemen.
No big surprises there, although early on it looked like Utah, a solidly red state, Mitt Romney got nearly 3/4 of the vote there, Rob, might be in play because of a third-party candidate.
Right.
Turned out tonight that voters, as they historically do, quote-unquote, went home.
Another state picked up for Hillary Clinton, though, Tony.
Yes, I mean, but it was not a surprise, and it looks like the map is boiling down to what's going to happen in the Rust Belt and in Pennsylvania. I mean, this is the shocker. I mean, I never expected it to circle around with what we have been doing in Pennsylvania. Now, the election's over. The winner actually exists. We just don't know who he or she is yet. But it's going to depend on Pennsylvania and these neighboring states.
Okay, that's the presidential popular vote, 49% to 47%, but we still have states coming in. We're still counting them. I wanted to let you know, Tony, at last check that I saw, Hillary Clinton is slightly ahead of Donald Trump in Pennsylvania right now as we stand. I don't know exactly how many precincts are in.
Although I will say, historically, Rob, the western and rural counties in Pennsylvania come in later. That portends good things for any Republican, in this case for Donald Trump. Pennsylvania will be the keystone state tonight. Hillary Clinton really now is faced with the prospect of having to win Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota in order to win the presidency. Tough call for her.
Looking live here at New York City, Hillary Clinton's headquarters. I was just going to stop talking and say, just listen. It appears to have gotten a lot quieter there. I want to point out one thing, though. It's very important. The Associated Press is the only news organization right now calling Florida for Donald Trump. There aren't any others backing that up yet, but I just wanted to be sure that you knew that we are reporting what the Associated Press is reporting, that Donald Trump took Florida, and that, of course, is huge with the amount of electoral votes there.
Huge, and as Pennsylvania is a must-win state for Hillary Clinton, Rob, Florida a must-win state for Donald Trump. It looks right now like it's in his column.
Well, it's just getting exciting as all these race numbers come in. So let's go right So much sentiment for two candidates that had the highest disapproval ratings of anybody we've thrown out there. Important note here, I mentioned earlier that the AP was the only news organization calling Florida for Donald Trump. CBS News now verifying that, so that solidifies that. Florida appears like it won't slip away. But Charlie, if it's too close, what could happen in that state?
They could get the automatic recount there, Rob. We could go through not exactly what we saw in 2000, but something very similar to that. The thing that's a question to me is why nobody has called Georgia yet. I will. It'll be in Donald Trump's column.
I can't allow you to do that, though, so I'm going to leave the map alone. Tony, at this point, Donald Trump, 223 electoral votes, 118 in play. Hillary Clinton with 197. I certainly didn't see Hillary Clinton as seeing tonight go in this direction.
No, spending much of the campaign seeing 538 projecting 370 electoral votes, 356 electoral votes for Hillary Clinton. This is certainly a disappointment for fans of Hillary Clinton and a shock, I think, to people on both sides of the aisle. I don't think anybody expected it to be standing here at midnight saying Donald Trump is on a road to victory.
I just heard Hillary Clinton just got a state there for you, Tony, Washington State. There's 12 more electoral votes, brings her to 209, 223. Still a close race, and it's still not over yet. So, Lara, I'm going to throw it back there.
Keep watching the Keystone State.
Keep watching PA for sure. We have a PA stat, I believe we could show you. These are the numbers here in Pennsylvania. Hillary Clinton with 49% over Donald Trump, and that's with 77% of the precincts reporting. And so, Charlie, we've got less than a minute here before we have to wrap it up.
Real quickly, historically, Republicans have done better later in the count because the rural counties tend to report later. I think there's still a lot of good news in those numbers for Donald Trump.
All right. Tony, I got to throw it back to Lara to wrap it up.
Charlie's right, though. I mean, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.